Okay, well, here we are, all five of us. Lian will be with us shortly. We are incredibly excited that you're here. We have a lot to cover in an hour. We're going to, oh, here's Lian. Okay. This is, so I'll turn it back over to Lian, because as we often remind people, you know, five sisters, but Lian is the producer of the show.
Thank you. Oh boy, I had such a great open plans, but whatever. It's so fantastic to have everybody here. I almost got choked up. Heather Moran, thank you so much. And thank you for buying all that stuff from those sponsors, Heather. We can't thank you enough. Okay, we are going to have a loaded show. We have a short history of Satellite Sisters for those of you that are new. We have a trivia contest where we have a longtime Satellite Sister listener that was randomly drawn is going to be playing. The Lab Rats are doing a command performance, and we're taking your questions. So feel free to put them in the Q&A. But we're starting with an old school gambit. When we used to start doing these press conferences a long time ago to introduce ourselves to various people, we always introduced each other as opposed to having to introduce ourselves. It's a good trick. I recommend it at any company meeting. But Sheila, take it away. You're up first.
All right. Well, Lian, you're up first. Let's talk about you. All right. Well, Lian hosts fabulous parties, as everyone knows. She has very healthy boundaries, which I appreciate, and she writes award-winning novels. I enjoy a visit to Lian's garden, her beautiful garden. If it's a hot drink, I bring the lattes, or she'll offer me a seltzer, and we have short, sweet visits, don't we, Lian?
Yes, Jill, we do.
And Lian may be the youngest sister, but her achievements are constantly reblooming. And giving some of the older sisters a run for our money. Right, Monica?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to introduce Monica. And Monica is an adventurer. And even in this weird year, you know, we don't even need to say it. She's been out there adventuring, whether it's on her electric bike or on her new snowshoes. She's got a homemade sandwich in her backpack, and she is out there seeing whatever she can, experiencing what she can. She is a thoughtful neighbor, a loyal friend, and a great sister. And I gotta say, this year, not only has Monica flown to Los Angeles twice to care for me since I had my accident, but because she's a nurse, she's also been volunteering at at big vaccine sites. So Monica is a healthcare worker. She is on the front lines and was even there yesterday at the mass vaccination site in Portland. So thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Liz.
Good work, Monica. Well, I now have the great honor of introducing Sheila, who is the most middle of the middle Dolan sisters, which is, and she holds that role near her heart. She is the go-to sister for entertainment and fashion and beauty advice. She excels as a tutor and a teacher and ordering food, takeout food. I mean, honestly and truly, you should see Sheila with a phone. It's amazing. But the other thing that she is the ideal co-conspirator. Whatever is the situation, Sheila is your partner in crime.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, I'm going to introduce Julie. You know, Julie always keeps things classy, from her sweater sets to her, look at her Zoom background set. I mean, look at that. Also, what I would say about Julie is there is no travel itinerary that is too daunting for Julie. She's on the plane, she's in the car, and she just goes no matter what. Nothing holds her back. And she also now is the youngest, coolest grandmother we know. Coolest grandmother.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
All right, and I get to introduce Liz. So we've always said about Liz that Liz is in charge, but not in control, right? That was the line going way back with Liz. But now I have to say that's incomplete. She's in charge. She's not in control. She's a pretty decent cook now, which is really a shocker. Of all her accomplishments, I honestly, of all her accomplishments, this is the most shocking to me. All right, she's number 2 in the birth order in terms of sisters, but she's number 1. If you're looking for someone with a big idea, bold statement, or very generous Christmas gifts. It's Liz. She is a fun aunt. She is a very loyal friend, and she is absolutely the fastest talker, despite the fact that literally every show I have to text her and say, slow down, please slow down. Liz, just keep talking fast, Liz. I just don't think your mouth can keep up with your brain. And that's what I think.
Maybe it's too late for that.
All right, so now we're going to do our short select history of Satellite Sisters. So we're going to share the screen. I did a PowerPoint, so hold on to your hats because it's mediocre. It's
New
mediocre.
skills. Wow.
Okay, so we thought we'd give you this brief overview of Satellite Sisters. When did it start? Who came up with the idea? Did you all go along with it? And I believe this next slide captures the exact moment when our sister Liz cooked up Satellite Sisters. Oh, you can see it there, right? If you look closely, Liz is holding up a blue ribbon that says first. Clearly, you can see she's thinking she wants to be first in the women's digital media space. Now, that doesn't exist yet, but that's Liz. She's always thinking big. Who's on board? Who's on board with the Satellite Sister concept? Which sisters are in? Well, clearly, Julie, Liz, and Sheila are in alignment there. You can see they're a trio. It's Monica who's the holdout. As Oprah would say, is she being held or held back by our brother Jim at the top of that photo? Monica, the reluctant Satellite Sister. Okay, and Sheila is the classic middle sister. You can see here on the left in the group photo, she's sticking out her tongue and already thinking, I want a spin-off. Okay. And then on the right, there she is, or on the left, there she is getting some red carpet practice that will come in handy at future Gracie Awards. Okay, this is a rare photo of the first Lab Rats episode. Yeah, people don't know that. That's Sheila and Monica in the yellow suits, and I believe they are testing bathing caps. So 2 paws up for these bathing beauties. Now, you may be asking, where is Lian? Well, she's not born yet. Oh, but there she is. That's right. Julie, Liz, Sheila, and Monica were looking for a producer to take their sister act to the next level. And guess what? Their mom gave birth to the producer. So there's Lian at the top of the photo in her mother's arms. This is Easter with our cousins. That's my mom, her twin sister, and 17 children. Okay, but look, who's that bunny? Okay, that's somebody special, right? That's Liz. And you can tell Liz, she's looking off into the future and she's thinking, how can I monetize this whole big family thing? All right, this is very rare footage of the very first Satellite Sisters production meeting. I am having a hard time getting control of these people. All right, fast forward 30 years. And here we are at our real first photo shoot. Satellite Sisters has been on the air for a few years on public radio, and our first book was coming out. So we all met in New York City to do some promotional stuff. And we learned a very hard lesson that photo shoot. It is nearly impossible to get one photo that all 5 women like. It's about this time that Julie moved from Bangkok to Moscow. Here you can see Julie and her international businessman husband. And look, oh, there are 4 out of 5 Satellite Sisters in Red Square because we were asked to host an international fundraiser. Why didn't Sheila come to Moscow with us? Because the airline wouldn't allow her to travel with her Cuddle U mattress. That's right. That's a true story. She didn't go anywhere without the Cuddle U. In 2003, we moved to ABC Radio and things really heated up for us. 6 days a week, 3 hours a day on the air, a full staff of wonderful producers and editors, 2 or 3 guests a show, magazine covers, great sponsors. We had a column in O, the Oprah magazine, and we went on tour with Oprah. Things were going great. And then we got in the boat. That's right, people. When the photographer from People magazine said, why don't you all get in a rowboat in Central Park? We did. And when the photographer said, why doesn't one of you stand up at the boat? I did, like an idiot, against all my summer camp boating training. And we learned a valuable lesson at this photo shoot too. If you don't want to be photographed in a boat, don't get in the boat in the first place. We have applied it metaphorically many times to many situations over the years at Satellite Sisters.
Do not get in the boat.
We say it a lot. Oh, here we are at ABC. Besides interviewing a million guests, we developed some signature segments, from the Bitter Business Bureau to Believe It or Not to the Chaos Chronicles. But by far our most popular segments were intra-sister competitions that took us right back to the pool deck of our youth. Okay, we battled each other over ice cream cakes, making a 30-minute meal in 30 minutes, tablescaping, and holiday wreath decorating. But the best intra-sister contest, which are you? Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I could look at this photo all day long and still not understand why Liz chose to dress up as Baby Witch. It's very disturbing. Sheila called herself a red-haired Irish witch. I dressed as that witch from yoga class. Monica was Glam Witch, and Julie, who was the winner, was the classic witch.
Yeah, I got the green color right, Leah. That's why I
You did.
yes.
You did, Joel. All right. In 2008, the podcast era began. And that little photo on the bottom left is Liz and me in my closet in Pasadena in 2009. And 10 years later, here we are at the Wondry Studios in West Hollywood. Over the years, Satellite Sisters has won. Yeah, I added some new photos, girls. More glam.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Glam it up.
Satellite Sisters has won 13 Gracies for excellence in women's media, including Best Talk Show, Best Online Original Programming, which is what they actually called podcasts before podcasts were a thing, and an individual honor for Sheila for her movie reviews. I put these photos in to make up for the witch photos because I think we look really good in these photos. All right, we've been privileged to write 2 books, Uncommon Senses and You're the Best. Touring with both of these books was a really special experience, seeing family, friends, and so many members of the Satellite Sisterhood. A real highlight for us. Thank you.
My daughter-in-law made those signs. That's what Lauren. Yeah.
Thank you, Julie. There's no way when Liz cooked up this idea that we could have imagined the community that's developed around Satellite Sisters. We have nothing funny to say about this, but thank you. Thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
Okay, now I'm crying already. All right, but here we go.
That's all right.
How
Okay,
can it
Liam.
be 20 years? How can it be 20 years, you guys? Look at it. It's like no time has passed. So let's celebrate.
Okay. So Lian, that is amazing. There were even some pictures there that I've never seen. It's been an amazing 21 years.
It really has. It started early. Yeah.
The early lab rats with the bathing cap testing. Who would have known that would grow into such a big thing? So, over the years, I mean, the show has had many iterations, and so have we. We've done things right. We've done things wrong. We've made some bold predictions that came true, and then others, well, really not so much. So we thought, here we are 21 years in, we would each do a little reflecting maybe on what we got right or what we got wrong or what was important. So we're just going to go around the horn and have a little chit chat, just like we do on the show. So Julie, let's start with you. Thinking about right and wrong. What are your highlights and lowlights?
Okay. 21 years, no nude photos. Okay. I mean, it's been the downfall of so many people, but not us.
Don't get in the boat.
Clothes off, no news photos. Okay. I think that was key. Maybe our greatest accomplishment. Second thing that I think we got right is our view of women, that we stood up to whoever, newsmakers, corporate leaders, politicians, university presidents, actors, athletes, anyone that wanted to diminish the inherent capabilities of girls and women, we took them on. And I think that's been a good 2 decades of work right there. Okay. Third thing we got right, Dr. Forney and the rules of civility, right?
Yeah.
I think we were talking about civility so long before. Now everyone talks about, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could all be civil again? But you and Dr. Forney, you were putting it out there back
We did that so long. The late great Dr. Forney, we miss him. So that we did right. I have been right about Putin, Kim Jong-un and his family, and Camilla. Okay. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not giving
Strong
up on
statement.
that. I know. Okay. Now, when I think about the things I did wrong, it's a long list, okay? But the highlight of that list is we were talking to a young, up and coming international news reporter. He was so hardworking. We thought he was so cute. And his name was Anderson Cooper. But I called him Cooper Anderson on our show.
That's part of the
Oh,
wrong
Julie.
thing, the people we called by the wrong name, right?
I'm still not over it. Okay. It's probably gonna take me another 50 years. I don't know. That's what
Yeah,
I've got.
Shirley, you called Carol Lee Radziwill, her mom. I remember that.
That's right. In the same
then-
family.
I interviewed the reporter, the TV reporter for the Time magazine like a million times. I pronounced his name wrong every time. He was such a good sport, James Poniewozik. He's now at the New York Times. So yeah, that's so many wrong names, so many.
I remember we were interviewing Andre Agassi's sister, Tammy, because she was like really insistent in advance, like, I'm my own person. I don't want to talk about my brother. I was so freaked out about it that I kept calling her Tamasy Agassi.
It's a good one.
That's good, Liz.
Made me nervous. And then also when I listened back to my interview with Tom Brokaw, that's one where Lian, I'm just going a million miles a minute.
Oh, you were nervous.
Yeah, I was so nervous talking to Tom Brokaw. Luckily, he's an old pro and he just, pretended he understood what my question was. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Joel,
move along.
good recap. Sheila, highs and lows, rights and wrongs. What do you think?
Okay, I was definitely right about cozy clothes, was I not? I mean,
Yes.
one of the only good things that came out of 2020, I no longer have to apologize from going from the bedroom to the boardroom, as it were. That's what I do for my job.
What boardroom do you go to?
Is that your boardroom?
This is it right here. This is it. Okay. Also for 20 years, I have been boycotting Woody Allen films.
Mhm.
Full stop, sisters, on that one.
You were
Okay,
right.
and finally, I think I was right about Halle Berry's Gothica, which no one saw, including me, when I wrote a review of the movie. Okay, wrong. I was wrong about compression bras. I mean, after spending a year braless, I'm never going back. I ain't going back. The only bra I'm ever going to wear is Third Love. It's just some mild molding, not compression, sisters. And I was wrong about one of my biggest heartthrobs, Johnny Depp. He turned out to be a real loser.
Yeah.
Right?
Like many of your boyfriends, Sheila. Yeah.
I mean, he definitely wasn't worth tripping over my own microphone cord for
No.
to get an autograph. And that was a low point for me. Okay, so there you go, rights and wrongs.
Yeah, you did some serious red carpet coverage back in the day. You were good. You were going after those people.
Thank you, Liz.
Like, okay, Monica.
All right, I'm gonna jump in with something positive. I think something we did right was putting Lian in charge of all of our writing assignments.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Lian, our editor-in-chief, I mean, the magazine articles, when you forced us to write those blog posts, you would always help us, all the books we did. So that was something we did right. We turned to Lian. Something we did wrong. We saw a very young Taylor Swift one year at the Gracie Awards. And we were a bit concerned for her because no one was paying attention to her. So backstage, we met Taylor and her mother, and Lian offered her a very heartfelt good luck on your career. Like, we felt like she needed a boost.
Yeah. That was
Project
it.
self-esteem.
She needed a
That
pep
was
talk.
good.
She did fine without us. One other thing we got wrong, I remember a funny thing Sheila said. We were talking about computer passwords and what's the most common computer password in the US. And Sheila said Snoopy. That is not right, Sheila. You know that's not right.
I know that's not right, but at the time, I thought
You blurted it out. You blurted it out so
I
fast.
did. I did. I was completely 100% sure about it.
It was one
Okay.
of those moments where we were all laughing so hard, we got to what they call in radio dead air.
Yeah.
Snoopy was a dead air moment. Okay.
Liz, what do you have?
Okay, well, I was thinking about we've had some real blunders on technology predictions in general. I mean, I do give us credit for mastering all the technology and doing all of this. Look, we've been putting our voices out there for a long time. But I remember when Twitter was brand new, we were talking about it on the show. And at the time, people didn't even really call it Twitter yet. It was called microblogging. And I was like, what? What? I was like, blogging is already so micro. Why would we need something even more micro than blog? I didn't like the word blogging, and I certainly didn't like the word microblogging. So it's like, this Twitter thing just can't happen. No, it's, Lian, I believe you had some weak technology predictions when it came to if people would ever watch TV on their phones, right?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. We were really convinced that was ridiculous that
No.
you'd watch anything on your phone.
No.
That was ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, when you're live on the radio 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, you will literally say anything. You were just talking. You haven't really thought through some of these opinions all that much. You're just talking, you're looking at the clock and you see you got 3 more minutes. So what else can I say? So there is.
All right. What we get right, Liz? What's your final thing on what we got right?
I would say in the beginning, people would say, I don't understand the concept for this show. Like, what is this? I don't get it. Like, I don't hear it. What is the sound? And we said, it's the sound of friendship.
Yeah.
This is the way women sound when women talk to each other. And I
Yeah.
feel like we got that right, Lian. We definitely got that right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Okay. So another big thing we got right, Lian mentioned up at the top that, we developed signature segments so people would have a chance to develop their individual voices. And, there were many great ones, but tonight we just felt like there's only one that we really needed to bring back for such a big moment. So this is it, sisters and misters. Put your paws together. Put your paws together for Sheila Dolan and Monica Dolan, the Lab Rats, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Yay.
All right. Hello. We are the Lab Rats. I am Sheila Dolan in Los Angeles with Monica Dolan in Portland, Oregon. And Lab Rats is the time of the show when we road test consumer products and report back on our findings. Monica?
Oh, Sheila, so good to be with you live today. Gonna go a little bit off script here. We usually test products that we can buy, but this time we did products that we made. So we have some homemade Lab Rats items. What we're doing today is called quarantine snacks that you can eat anytime. We wanted to do sort of an homage to several things: snacks, cooking with Liz, although we're not going to steal your thunder, Liz, believe me. And then on the cozy couch with Parade magazine, because Parade is our source for this.
What a
Wow.
trifecta.
Woo!
What a trifecta, Monica. Yes, Monica and I have been doing a lot of snacking, and I have been doing a lot of eating. And luckily, Parade magazine just published 21 quarantine snacks that are delicious and make working from home so much better. So now for our methodology. Wow, it was hard to narrow it down from 21 snacks, right, Monica?
It was. So my idea was to make one sweet and one savory. And we wanted to make something that was presentable. So we tackled the zucchini bacon cheddar scones.
Whoa.
Whatever they are.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
I know.
My neck is snapped back that you two are doing this. Okay.
And chocolate peanut butter bites, chocolate banana peanut butter bites. So there was a bit of a pushback from Sheila because it involved two things that she's unfamiliar with: using the oven and melting chocolate.
I really want to make the tortilla chips sprinkled with cinnamon. That's more of my level of cooking. But Monica, let's start with the scone experiment. Now,
Let's start.
my methodology was first I had to fire up old Bessie, the oven, which I hadn't used in 5 years. Ever since I had a sweet potato explosion in there. And I don't know about you, I had a 2-day prep for the scones, Monica. I mean, how about you?
Told me it took her 2 days to make the
Okay,
scones.
so here they are. I'm going to reveal the scones.
Wow, they're
Whoa.
large. They seem very large.
They are-
Those look like
Sheila.
hash brown. Are those hash browns?
Those are bigger. Okay, I may be a tutor, but I think my ratios were off when I cut the recipe in half. It was mainly zucchini. I needed more flour, and it just they exploded in my oven. Monica,
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Well, I tried to test batch, thanks to Liz, and it was so bad. I showed them to Lian in a text, and she said they looked like zucchini blobs. So I came back, I tightened up my measurements, and I think they came out pretty well. So have a
That's neat.
look.
Dramatic.
oh,
Oh,
Well, they're
okay.
scone-like in appeance. Yeah.
Thank you, Lian. That's
I
what
like
I was
it that you
aiming
put it
for.
on your Russian Lomonosov china too.
Yeah.
I
Julie,
like that.
thank you for noticing that. It's my Russian china. I
Yes.
thought these were absolutely delicious. I mean, cheese, bacon, flour, butter. I made a huge mess in the kitchen though.
yes,
Cooking.
okay.
Yeah.
I made
So-
a 2-day mess.
I'm really proud of us, but Monica, let's give it our pause rating.
Okay.
I'm going to give the scones 1 paw up, 1 paw up for the 2-day prep. I mean, when I'm quarantining, I want to grab and go. I want to grab and go. Monica?
As you can see, 2 paws up. I mean, I love them. They were great. I don't know if I can make them again because I'll still be cleaning up my kitchen. But okay, we're the lab rats. Today we're talking about quarantine snacks, perfect to eat anytime. Sheila, let's move on to our sweet selection. Chocolate peanut butter banana bites. They're frozen chocolate covered bananas, and that's a mouthful right there. So tell me about yours.
This I could handle, cutting bananas, putting a dollop of peanut butter, and then putting the other banana on top. I had to buy a double boiler because I'd never melted chocolate before, but mine came out mini and very beautiful.
Oh, ooh, those
Oh.
edible.
Wait, give us another look at those, Sheila. We just got a quick.
They're absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, okay. We'll take your word for it.
Okay,
We're gonna have to take your word
Those
for
look
that.
good. They look mini.
I
Well-
had to buy
well,
2
for-
matching plates for this segment. I hope you enjoy the plates as well.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
Well,
Monica?
for mine, for my double boiler, I used a soup pot with the saute pan on top. I don't think that is correct, but I'm gonna tell you, these little banana coins, they are slippery little devils in the chocolate. And I lost a few in there, but I thought they were fun and tasty. Now I'm gonna show you mine, and I tilted a few upwards so you could see the peanut butter banana sandwich. What do
okay.
you think of those, Julie?
I love the plate. The plate looks really
Oh, come
just
on.
I think
beautiful. No, those
really
look good,
tasty,
Monica. Your
Those
scones
look good.
Really
scones
good.
look good.
Those
And
look
your-
delicious.
They're
Those look
slippery.
tasty.
They're slippery
know-
though.
All right, so let's get to our all important rating system. Monica, I'm giving 2 paws up for the peanut butter.
Paws up. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
consistent.
No,
I love these.
this is a good snack. Oh, boy, this has been fun, Monica.
Thank you.
A lot of,
Your,
a lot
your
of fun.
paws were the best thing. Yeah.
I
That-
yeah,
That's mine. I told
Well, the
them,
visual
I
gags-
think
the
you would
visual
be
gags never work on
surprised if
radio.
you tasted these.
I found these paws. That's what I do for teaching. I take JPEGs, print them out and laminate them. That's basically my whole year. Okay, well, this has been a lot of fun today. And as we say, Monica, let's say it together. Ready?
Happy
Happy
snacking.
snacking.
Good. Thank you. Very nice. Way to go. Way to go. All right, now it's the Q&A time. We want to bring back Heather Moran from Sixth and I. She is going to lead the Q&A. Hi, Heather. Welcome back. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you so much. I just want to say, Sheila, I like stones the size of my head. So I want to give you 2 paws. I do.
Thank you, Heather.
Of course, we have so many good questions from the audience. April wants to know how the Satellite Sisters got their name. She'd never heard that story.
You know what? I think we're going to take a pass on this because
Great.
this is part of our trivia.
Oh.
So it's an excellent question, but we don't want to tip off our player in the
You
trivia.
know what? That just shows how in it April is.
It's
right?
true,
She's
April.
like, she's
Nailed
already,
You
she's
know it.
already
You'll get your answer. You'll get your answer.
Yeah.
excellent. All right. So Diana wants to know, she loves your success and she's really curious to know what the brothers think.
Oh,
Yes,
they
Julie.
have been very supportive from the get-go. They have listened to the show. They have, they buy the magazines, they come to the events, they tell all their friends. They are great brothers. They as adults. Yeah, they're really wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I mean,
There
that
were
begs
some
the
fights.
question.
Yeah,
Is
there were some fights in the backyard growing up, but they are solid gold satellite misters. Absolutely.
You
for
all
people
stand
who
by
don't
that?
know, we have 3 brothers. We have 2 older brothers and 1 brother that is in between Monica and Lian.
That's great.
Yes. Okay.
All right, good. So Patty wants to know, what's the number one thing? I'm sure there's many, many things that you feel have kind of kept you together, but what's the number one thing that's kept you together? What's the glue that's kept you together when I imagine were so many times it could fall apart? Yes, Monica.
I'll answer that. I would say sense of humor. It's just what keeps us together. And when we do segments that are funny, the listeners really like it. And we like to laugh together. We have similar senses of humor. And it just, when we're mad at each other, it just makes things go easier when we start laughing together.
I would also go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing. I think we keep doing it because we have so much fun doing it.
I do think there's something to not living in the same place. I mean, the original concept was the show is that we had our own lives and our own friends and our own things going on. And we weren't just like people who showed up on TV, like that other show with all those women on couches and like pretended to be friends or pretended to have lives. So I think the fact that we do have our own people and our own, other work and our own other lives, so that when we come together, it's really just, it's fun and authentic. It's genuine. And we're not all like in each other's faces all the time. That's helpful.
That's true.
Working together by ourselves. Long before the pandemic, we were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trailblazers in every way.
Mhm.
Well, one of the other questions is about how often you talk to each other outside the show.
Well, I've been calling Monica every weekend for 20 years, right, Monica?
Yeah, and I would say more during the last year. I mean, we
Definitely.
probably text or call a couple times a week.
Yes, I do. Even though you are working at a job in an office, I still text you and call you. Yes, I do. Because I'm lonely. Yes. Liz?
Yeah, I would say we have a lot of one-on-one contact in different ways. I get a lot of emojis from Sheila, especially, since I had my accident, like very cheerful, pick me up emojis. Obviously Lian and Julie and I talk a lot about the show, but in the weekly production for the podcast, but we talk about other things too, separately one-on-one. And I check in with Monica all the time. So yeah, I think there's a lot of one-on-one that's completely unrelated to any of the work we do together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, great. Linda wants to know, she is a mom of 8 kids and 4 of them are girls. And she wants to know if each of you have the same personality and quirks now that you had when you were younger.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
An affirmative, yes.
Yes.
Is she afraid of that happening, Heather, or is she looking forward to that? Do you
It's
know
a-
the question?
It's a great question. I think it can cut both ways.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things we learned early on in this process, because we're 5 different people, 5 different personality types, 5 different sets of skills, strengths and weaknesses. We used to do a lot of things on the show where everybody had to do everything. Like everybody had to lead the interviews and everybody had to bring a segment in and everybody had to do X, Y, and Z. Monica said, I forced everybody to write blogs. And eventually we got to the point where we're like, why don't we just let people do what they're good at and stop making people, you know, it was like, we called it an all play. Like this should not be an all play situation. People have strengths and weaknesses, and we've known that since we were kids, and certain combinations of people work better together or have a different chemistry. And like when we did the radio show 6 days a week, which was a lot of days, there would only be 3 of us on the air each day because we all got a day off. So we worked 5 days to rotate through. So there were days when it was the varsity team, that was me, Liz, and Julie. And then the JV team was me, Sheila, and Monica. But then, you know, there were combinations that involved Julie, Monica, and Liz. And that was a different dynamic. And because we're all very different, and that's good. It's healthy. Yeah. We're not a monolith for sure.
But nobody is that different than they were when.
No.
No.
You see the pictures before and after. You could line us up. Sheila would still be sticking out her tongue. You know, it's all still there. No, you
And
wouldn't.
it wasn't lost on me that Liz had the bunny and the baby witch. Like,
Right?
yeah, I'm
I
gonna
don't
think
know
about that.
That was the bunny. The bunny isn't really my thing. But the baby witch, I don't know. I'm not really a costume person, Heather. So I was trying to think of like, what would be a witch, but not a witch you've never seen before? Because anyway, so that's why I came up with baby witch. I don't think I won that contest, but I think the time we did wreath making for our front doors.
I know. You won, and you shouldn't have won, Liz. Yeah, you made that square wreath. I'm
Made me
over
mad.
it. I'm over it. Don't worry.
They're
I'm
still
over it.
mad. They're still mad, Heather, because you know why? Because my wreath looked terrible in person.
Yes.
But I knew that nobody was going to see it in person. They were only going to see the picture on the blog. And I knew it photographed perfectly well. So in pictures, it looked great. But once they saw it on my actual door, they were disgusted that I had won.
You played the
Really
game, Liz.
bitter.
You played the game. I'm with you. I also, to be totally straightforward, when I took the BuzzFeed quiz that was on the created BuzzFeed quiz, I did get Liz.
Oh,
And
okay. All right.
yes. So I'm with you. I back up that win with your ugly wreath.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So Kathy wants to know what advice you have for aspiring or new podcasters.
Well,
Lian.
You can
I
go
would
first.
say stick with your day job. I think we're full over here at podcasting. We're waiting for everybody who had no work during the pandemic to go back to their work. So like Michelle, Bruce, they can all just go back to their normal lives and leave podcasting to the podcasters. We're begging you. We're begging you. You know, it was funny when Liz, you can tell the story. When we first started podcasting, what'd you tell us?
oh, because we went from our radio show to doing the podcast, but we were still booking guests. And so I had said, when you're like pitching publicists or the guests, don't use the word podcast. Just call us a talk show. Not mention that we're no longer on the radio, but nobody will know what a podcast is. So there were a bunch of years, Heather, where we were just a talk show, and that worked perfectly well. It helped us make the bridge between radio to podcasting, while the rest of the world, we were kind of podcast pioneers in a lot of ways. So it took a while for the rest of the world to catch up.
Heather,
But other advice I would give is, if you're going to do a podcast, make sure it's either a subject you really love or a partner you really love talking to. It's a lot of work, especially if you want to really stick with it. And so you just have to have a passion for it. And as we said earlier, we just so enjoy talking to each other about everything under the sun, we could stick with it. But if you picked a really narrow topic that wasn't really like emotionally motivating to you, it wouldn't take long to just pod fade is the word in the business. It wouldn't take long to pod fade.
So I can tell, I mean, after listening to you guys, it's not like you're competitive or hold grudges or anything like that. But I'm curious because a lot of families talk about like who's mom's favorite, who's dad's favorite. Is that something that enters into the satellite syndromes conversations? Do you guys talk about that stuff? Do you have point of views?
You know, we've told this story on the air, but our mother had a child of the week contest, Heather. Okay. Every week she would award a child of the week award. She was just desperate to get us to stop fighting and bickering. And so she thought an award contest would happen. But it broke down because Liz kept one like 3 weeks in a row. Again, totally not fair. Okay. She had like the square wreath. It was like the baby witch of the square wreath. She wasn't deserving of it, but
I knew how to play the game. I knew how to play the game. The other thing I would say about favorites, it wasn't so much like mom or dad. In our household, it was the boys against the girls.
Yeah.
100%. We had to stick together. 5 girls and 3 boys. Thank God Lian was a girl. Because before Lian was born, we're like, oh my God, if this baby is a boy and we're 4, we have no chance.
yeah.
The mathematical advantage. So we were so happy when Lian was born. And that was everything that motivated us, was like protecting ourselves against our brothers and trying to bring them down as much as they tried to bring us down.
And Heather, I'll just say I was the tip of the spear on that. Okay.
I believe
That
it.
was my goal. Okay. Tip of the spear.
Julie, I believe it.
Yeah.
I love this question. What actors would play each sister in the movie version of the Satellite Sisters?
Okay, I call Kate Winslet.
I'll take Reese Witherspoon.
How about Carrie Mulligan?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sheila, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
But I'm stumped. I don't know. Pick someone for me. I don't know.
Julianne Moore.
Moore.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie. That was good. You guys did not take too long to figure that out. I'm impressed. When do you think that you guys will all get together again in person? Do you think you'll wait for a special occasion? Have you been talking about it?
In our own lives or for show?
Well, you're always welcome. You're always welcome at 6th and I. Consider yourself booked. But I mean in real life.
Sheila lives right down the street from me. Like we haven't been within 20 feet of each other in 18 months. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're pandemic protocol. We actually haven't talked about it. I think we're all getting vaccinated now and we'll figure it out
Right.
like everybody
Yeah.
else in America, but we've been very cautious and careful, and yeah, we'll figure something out though. We'll figure something out.
3 or 4 summers ago, we had a family reunion in Bend, Oregon during the summer, which was really fun. And it was us, and we're very close to a lot of our first cousins. You know, our mother had 3 sisters and 2 brothers, but especially the 4 girls were super tight. So all of those cousins we love and we love to see. So, you know, I started to think maybe next summer, maybe summer of 22,
Yeah.
we could kind of get together in the big extended family group again, because we have so much fun when we do that.
Mhm, mhm.
I wish that for you. I really, really do. I hope it comes soon. And then here's the last question. The last question is, what can we look forward to in the next 20 years of the Satellite Sisterhood?
Oh, wow.
I would say no more of the banana bites.
You said they were slippery. That's not a good adjective.
And once they start melting, they're no more of those. I would say definitely.
No. Maybe the movie is the solution, Heather. We've always thought if we could just sell the rights to this whole story to
Yeah.
someone who's then going to go off and do all the work, we would be totally up for that. Like the movie, the TV show, fine. That would be fine.
Call us,
But in the meantime, we still love just connecting every week. I mean, you have to know that, Heather, everyone, you have to know how much it means to us that you spend time with us, and we get so excited every week for the show. So more of that, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a gift. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I am going to toss it to Liz, who's
Yes.
going to, the awaited trivia game.
This is exciting.
This is super exciting. So thank you everyone who bought tickets and who entered. There was a random drawing that Sixth and I did to pick. We wanted one person who could play with us on the air. You can all play along at home or put your answers in the chat, whatever you want to do. But we wanted one Satellite Sisters live with us. So Nancy Cowan, come on down. Let's just pull.
Nancy!
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hello. It's an honor to be chosen. I'm sitting here with my Satellite Sisters mug. I'm wearing
Oh,
my Cassis lipstick, Liz. So I feel.
do you really own the Cassis lipstick?
Yeah, just because of you. Yes, just because.
So Nancy, we have never met, right? And you were totally shocked when you got picked.
My husband was just reading emails, and I said, "Did I get picked?" And I had to open it up right away. Like, what? So yes, I'm thrilled. I've been nervous ever since. I know though that all your sisters and the sisterhood at large, you're all, we're all among friends. So I'm happy to hear your answers in the chat if I don't know the answer.
Okay. All right. We're not going to be too hard on you, Nancy. Don't worry about it. Well, when did you first start listening to Satellite Sisters? How did you meet us?
Met you at OPB, Monica. I used to live in Portland, Oregon, Westland actually. And so when you were on NPR on Saturday mornings, so for sure, at least since September 11th, because I can remember when that happened, I wanted to hear what you ladies wanted to say about it. Because I believe, did Sheila and Liz, did you live in New York at the time?
Yes, we did. Yes.
So at least since then, maybe your very first show, I don't know, but I specifically remember that. And Julie, I'm Texan by birth, so my sister and mother live in the Dallas area. So every time I'm there, I think of you. And now I live in Massachusetts. So whenever I drive through Connecticut, I think of all of you.
Okay, and my notes also tell me, Nancy, that during the year of the current unpleasantness, you turned 50 this year. So happy birthday.
Yes. And I'd been thinking probably since I was 45, what exciting thing can I do for my 50th? But of course, nothing really happened. And, that happened to everybody and everybody's birthday last year and weddings and all that. So, we're all in the same boat there.
Okay, so here's how it's going to work. I'm going to read the questions, and then there are multiple choice answers. So I'll read the questions, and my sisters will give you your choice of answers, and then you just pick one. So it's, it'll be fun. All right, this was the question we got earlier. So this is why we didn't want to answer it earlier. The first question is, who came up with the name for the show?
Was it A, Liz on an overnight flight somewhere while looking out into space?
Or was it B, Lian, while driving past the Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena, California?
Or was it C, my husband, while we were lying in bed?
Or was it D, one of our brothers, but I forget which one?
So what do you think, Nancy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at all the chats. There's a lot of conflicting information. I believe. Were you all like at a mud bath together when this happened as well?
But we didn't name the show there, but that's why our company is called Mud Bath Productions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an unlikely selection. It's an unlikely choice.
Unlikely choice. I guess I'm gonna go then with Lian's husband.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, very exciting.
That is correct. Okay, moving on to number 2. Which of these was never a Satellite Sisters slogan?
Was it A, tackling the world one cup of coffee at a time?
Or B, 5 real sisters, even though they always tease me that I was adopted?
Or C, going deep on shallow topics.
Or D, not every conversation will change your life, but any conversation can.
Okay, this one's easy. The one that Lian said was never a real story.
It's also true they teased me all the time that I was adopted. So that
Okay,
is
so
also true.
B, all right. So
As
you're
a fellow youngest, Lian, I understand.
Yeah.
2 for 2, Nancy, 2 for 2. Okay, number 3. Where did Julie live when Satellite Sisters first went on the air?
Was it A, one of the stands? I think it was Uzbekistan.
Was it B, Bangkok, Thailand, which Julie loved, even though she had to import her own honey baked ham?
Or was it C, Southern California, which is great because we could call each other after earthquakes.
What do you think, Nancy? A, B, or C?
It was for sure Bangkok. And do I remember right too, Julie? Once you have even had your son on the show, one of your sons.
Yes, my son will.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
That was way
right.
back then, I think, too.
Wow, that was good. That was
Right,
good.
so
I-
Going
And
deep.
Julie, I had a brother that lived in Bangkok, Thailand as well. Before
Okay, Nancy. you're
It's
just-
amazing we've never met you before, Nancy.
another connection. Yes, it's crazy.
Okay, let's keep moving. Number 4. What was the very first Lab Rats product tested?
Was it A, lean cuisine, which was challenging to cook in a radio station?
Was it B, hair mousse, which was just a flimsy excuse to say hair mousse a lot on the air?
Was it C, chips, which made a lot of mess and a lot of noise?
Or was it D, glue-on fingernails, which were horrible to get off?
What do you think?
I don't remember this. A lot of people are saying chips, but it sure seems like mousse would be something more your style. So I'm tempted to say mousse. That's my answer.
I would have gone for mousse too, just because the whole gambit with Lab Rats was originally just to get a lot of free products. That's why they did it. They thought people would send them. But in fact, lean cuisine was the first thing they.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
You're still way ahead of the game.
You're doing great, Nancy. Hang in there.
Okay, number 5. What impression did our engineer John Ramos do when he called into entertaining Sheila as a surprise guest?
Was it A, Madonna in her British accent phase?
Or was it B, Queen Elizabeth also with a British accent?
Or was
was
it,
it
or was it C, Keira Knightley in her Pirates of the Caribbean phase?
Ooh. I'm looking at the chat for this one, and people are saying Keira Knightley, so that's my choice.
Hey, you got it.
Okay.
Okay.
It was Keira Knightley. Okay, we have one last question and then there's a bonus question. Which one of these was never one of Julie's Tuesday trends? So this was never a trend that Julie talked about.
Was it A, hula hoops, heavy hoops, hooray for hoops?
Was it B, instructional videos for cats?
Or was it C, $900 clogs?
Not something that Julie.
I'm looking at the chat again. I know hula hoops was recently, so I know that's not
Okay.
it. Okay, people are saying cat videos. I'm gonna say cat video.
That is correct. That is
Right,
correct.
way to go. Way to
Julie
go.
has never recommended cat videos. Okay, now quickly, we're going to wrap up with a final bonus question. In Lian's novel, The Sweeney Sisters, in the 4th of July party scene, she features a classic Edna Dolan recipe. And this is also a recipe that Lian posts every year for the 4th of July on our blog. Do you know, Nancy, for all the winnings, do you know what that recipe is for?
It is the blueberry muffins, Edna Dolan's blueberry muffins, which I have made before. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, you killed it, Nancy. So that's it. You win Solid Gold Satellite Sister, and your prize is fantastic. We didn't tell you about this in advance.
Because we didn't know.
We didn't know. This came in at the last minute. You were going to get a coffee mug, but like you already have one. So we better. So longtime supporter Away Luggage is sending you a gift card for $500. So, I mean, you know how much we love their suitcases, their bags, their accessories, and $500 will go a long way to getting you back out there whenever it's time. So,
Oh,
Away for that. We thank them for all of their support. And thank you for playing along, Nancy.
thank
Thank
you.
you,
This was an
Nancy.
honor.
Nancy.
Honor. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, this was fun. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for us to actually thank a couple people. We're trying to wrap up here. We said an hour. It looks like we're going to go a little over. So thanks for sticking with us. We're just having too much fun up here. Liz and Monica, good trivia questions you put together. Excellent. First, we want to thank the team from 6th and I. We absolutely could not have done this without without them. This would not have happened on so many levels. So a big thanks to everybody there. Thanks to Heather Moran, who was our first point of contact and our trivia queen. Jackie Leventhal, thank you so much for all the work. And Sasha Fried Snowd, thank you. You made it so easy. Mark Perkins is our engineer tonight, and we really, really appreciate it. We want to thank our sponsor, Away, for stepping up. Thank you, Away. It's great to see you. Great to have those bags and that gift card to give away. We wanted to thank a couple of the Satellite Sisters crew for over the years. So when we first started on the radio, our first partners were WNYC and Oregon Public Broadcasting. But the key figure behind the scenes was our original sixth sister, Rosemary St. Clair, who ran Mudbath Productions. And she is watching now from her home in Oregon. So right on. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah, we salute you. And now we're going to go to an old tradition at Satellite Sisters. We have some sassy awards to give out to this handsome group of radio personalities that are showing up on your screen. You all can unmute yourselves now because it's time. All right, Monica, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Our first Sassy Award goes to Miss Corny Cole, and she was our amazing producer. Again, another one of our unofficial Six Sisters. She even came to our family reunion. So Corny, we're giving you the sassy for the biggest laugh and the biggest diet Dr. Pepper habit.
Thank you very much. I am honored. This is the greatest honor of my life. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Our second Sassy Award goes to Sarah Sweeney, who looks suspiciously like a Dolan family cousin, but she's not. She is a big-time ABC guru. And what she did for Satellite Sisters, she created the first Satellite Sister website, okay? And that was, we were living big time with that. I mean, she could do anything. Whatever we asked her, Sarah did it. I wish she had come up maybe with a dating app. That might have been helpful as well. But Sarah, we want to give you the sure I can figure it out sassy for everything you ever did for us, Sarah. Take a bow.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And yes, I stole the name for my book from Sarah Sweeney because I always loved her last name. I had to throw that in.
Waiting for that check, Lian.
And we would literally call Sarah on like a Sunday night. She'd be in New York. We're like, can you get this up by Monday morning? Okay, next up, John Ramos, our original engineer / creative director / voiceover artist. John, I also want to say, I know that yesterday was your 22nd wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There were many Saturday mornings because we went on the air at 6 a.m. Saturdays, and John would be in the booth as well, you know, Corny, but also your wife Suzanne often came with you. So I feel like we know your family so well. We've been to your kids' christenings and their birthday parties, and we miss you and we love you. But John Ramos, you get the Keira Knightley cosmic.
I was actually shocked somebody had the answer to that. I actually wrote Leslie. I said, "Hey, good job, way to go." By the way, I wrote something down. I hope it's spelled correctly. Can you see that? It says pioneers.
Oh.
That's it. When I heard that term, that's exactly what I think. This show is a pioneering show for the times that we are in now, with women's rights and all that type of stuff. So I even email Liz and Lian sometimes when I see women stuff, and I go, look, this is something you were doing 20 years ago.
All right,
So-
John. I know. John will always be in our life for that reason. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sheila, Julie, Monica, Liz, Lian. Good to see all of you.
All right, our next award goes to Emily Loudermilk, everybody, my former neighbor and my first and forever favorite employee of the boutique tutor. All right, Emily. Emily started,
Oh, hi.
yes, that's Emily.
Hi.
She did all my graphics for me. She taught for me. And then I introduced her to the sisters. And now she does all those gorgeous graphics for their website. And she is our fresh face sassy. Right, Emily?
All right, and last but not least, we want to introduce you to our current engineer, Sergio Enriquez. Honestly, Sergio saved the show because 3 years ago, I had maxed out technically on editing and emotionally on editing. I no longer wanted to do either of those things, nor could I. So when we moved to Wondery and they said, well, you should meet Sergio, he can edit your show. I was like, oh my God. And he's such a delight to work with. Sergio, you get the sassy for no back talk. You don't give us any back talk, Sergio. We love it. Thank you. We're so glad you're here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to do the show. It's always happy. Every Tuesday, it's a good laugh to start. So I love it.
Oh, thanks.
We
That's
miss
good.
seeing you, Sergio. We miss seeing you.
We do.
Well-
We used to see Sergio in the Wondery when Lian and I would be in the Wondery studio, but now we don't see you, but you're always there for us. Thank you.
Oh,
Go
thank
back.
you.
Okay.
Okay, this makes me cry seeing all you guys. So I think you have to go now.
Okay, there she goes.
There she goes.
That was our theme song, yeah.
No, I know. Thank you so much, you guys. But 21 years, hard to believe. And you've all been such an important part of it. We thank you. Can't thank you enough. I'm not going to make it to the end of the show. All right. I think I'm supposed to tell you guys to turn your cameras off. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We'll be in touch
Thanks.
soon.
Now we're coming up to the
Love
big
you
wrap
all.
up and okay.
All right, Liz, I do want to just give one other thanks to everybody at Wondery. There are new distributors and we have a wonderful sales and marketing team there, and they have allowed us, they've done great work for us and gotten us great sponsors, and we appreciate all the work that they've done. We love being part of their network.
Well, there's one other group that we need to thank, and we talked about at the beginning of this show, what we did right and what we did wrong. And the number one thing that we did right is you, our audience. We started with a really quaint relationship that you would actually turn a dial on a radio at a specific time and a specific date. But you got it immediately. You wrote to us, you said we sounded like your best friends, your college friends, your book club, your siblings. We had this powerful, half-baked idea about women and friendship, and you bought into it. You responded to our early discussions about eyebrows and breast exams and widowhood. Public radio was really shocked to learn that you care about your parents and your pets, and you have very, very strong opinions about bras. Okay, 21 years in, you did that. You have always encouraged us with your responses. You wanted to hear more topics about what women care about their work, their family, their relationship, their community. You gave us permission to go deep on shallow topics. You have been very tolerant to no follow-up questions. And you seem to actually like the occasional dead air from laughter. When 9/11 happened, you reached out to us. We tried so hard to stay connected to you in those confusing days after the attacks. We really realized how precious you were to us. You came with us to ABC XM radio, or maybe you found us there. You formed a community of helping and sharing and supporting other people. You came to our events. you had your own events, and sometimes you didn't even invite us. You reminded all that came to the Satellite Sister and Misterhood to play nice. You didn't always agree with us, but you were thoughtfully and kindly corrected us with the multitude of on-air inaccuracies and blunders that we made. And with each move, you helped us figure out how to stay connected. You were the podcast pioneers, not just us, you. You have always been funnier, smarter, nicer, kinder, craftier, and more tech savvy than we could ever be. And like a good friend, you have shared your joys and your pain, and you have been there for us and comforted us on dark days and helped us really celebrate the joys in our lives and in our families' lives. Quite frankly, we don't know how we would have made it this past year during this current unpleasantness, as Liz calls it, without you. I mean, we were the ones that said, perk it up, but you were the ones that were making the difference in our lives. There were some weeks this past year where we really felt like maybe we didn't have anything else to say. And then you posted, look what I did, all those wonderful photos you wrote to us, and you gave us that support, that courage. You told us to keep the conversation going, like the good friends that you are. You gave us that support, and here you are today, over 1,100 people. We're beyond words. 21 years. You have made our lives so meaningful. It's always been a two-way conversation between us and you. You have shaped our 21-year relationship, and we don't want to lose you. And your support for Satellite Sisters and these 5 real adult sisters that you have helped keep together, keep close and connected for 2 decades. So we are humbled by the collective power of you. We can't imagine our lives without you. We are absolutely filled with gratitude. So now take your glasses. Did you make the cocktails? Did you do it? Make the cocktails. This is a toast to you, to us, to friendship, to conversation, to love. Cheers. And don't forget to call your Satellite Sisters. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much to Liz, to Julie, to Lian, to Monica and Sheila. Thanks to everyone in the audience for joining us. The link to purchase copies of the Sweeney Sisters with autographed book plates is in the chat box. We're emailing everyone the link as well. Please come back and see us for more virtual events. Check out our calendar at sixthandI.org. And when the time comes, we really look forward to welcoming you back to Sixth and I. Until then, take care, good night, and you're the best.